Hello, everybody. Welcome to Coffee Talk. We are streaming live across social media. Coffee Talk is a every other week show that we do on Facebook and YouTube, and we've decided we're doing it live from the DanceLife Teacher Conference 2023. This is my co-host, Laura Giacomelli Hunkowski. Welcome,
Hi, everybody.
Laura.
Thank you for having me.
And our guest today is Miss Jackie Sleight, the remarkable Jackie Sleight. Let me test that for you. Test one, you're on.
Thanks.
Welcome, Miss Jackie.
Thank you, Rhee.
Tonight we're honoring you.
Isn't that weird?
No, it's amazing and well deserved.
Jackie is our Lifetime Achievement Award recipient this evening. And I have a lot that I'm going to say about Jackie tonight, but this is what I'm going to say right now real fast because we have a lot to talk about. Your influence on the dance education field goes far beyond what so many people have accomplished. And I want you to know that. And why do I say it so positively is like every time I put out a Jackie Sleight anything, people write, I love her, I love her, I love her. She did this for me. She did that for me. I danced with her in this. Your impact is out there. You are a legend. What do you think of that? You think of legend as old. Okay, you are seasoned.
Seasoned. What do you want?
Okay, thank you for being with us.
We'll see you next time.
I appreciate that, though.
I want to know how you're feeling. You're at the DanceLife Teacher Conference. I walked into a room yesterday, and it was wall-to-wall people.
I was
And
shocked. It was so great. I had so much fun. I think they had a little fun, too, but I had so much fun. Yes, right? I don't know. They were not there, but it was so much fun. You missed it. These teachers were like fantastic. They just danced. They came and they danced.
see, that's what I love about the DanceLife Teacher Conference, because you don't see teachers get up on the floor. Usually, if they have an option for a class, it's an advanced or intensive class, and they don't want to get up and dance in front of their students. Every year I come in here, I walk into the rooms, I'm like, look at these teachers, moving, confident, and how cool is it that they get the chance to dance?
Absolutely. You weren't there this morning when we said, thank you, Rhee, for doing this once a year so we can exercise once a year.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I don't know what to respond to that one. So this is the once a year when everybody
And they
takes
were
a
full
class.
out. Yep.
There you go, full out. So tell me about this thing called the LA Jazz Company.
Okay. So 1,000 years ago, yeah, I know, really. It was originally established in 1979 by Roland Dupré. And some of us know the name, and if you don't, look it up. So Roland was definitely one of the West Coast jazz motivational. He established West Coast jazz, and he had a studio, and everybody came out of there, and yeah, it was one of those. And it was a big deal. And Roland started out as an MGM kid with Mickey Rooney and Judy Garland. And so he had quite a background, and he started a jazz company. And it went on for a while, and then, it disappeared. And last year, a bunch of us did a concert in LA called Full Circle. And we did it at the theater where the Los Angeles Jazz Company first performed. And it was really kind of a spectacular night. And so not everybody kept saying, Jackie, what are you going to do? I said, nothing. This is it. Are you going to do this again? I said, it's full circle. Don't you get it? We're done. We came around. We're not doing this again. So, but out of it, I caved. And so we reestablished the Los Angeles Jazz Company. And it's brand new, and there are 20 people. Yeah, I know. Is that crazy?
It's amazing.
And my goal is they're spectacular. So, but all new to each other. You know, everybody's trying to find their thing with each other.
Are they all West Coast based? Are they
Well,
across
I was
the
going to say
US?
yes, except for there's a girl who lives in New York, and choreographers like Al Blackstone from New York, and so we're from LA, so we're representing LA, but in part, it's to let people see what jazz is, to remember what it looked like.
So what is it, real jazz, Jackie? Is that what you're
It's
saying?
real jazz. See, here's the deal. The word jazz is dated. It's not the style. It's the word. Because like now, if everybody does jazz, they just do it to pop music. You know what I mean? So now if you go jazz, people go, oh, jazz, old. Nah. And jazz keeps moving. It keeps growing. It keeps changing. And if it doesn't, that's when it dies. So you have to stay. Okay, Joe Tremaine taught me this. Ready? Joe Tremaine taught me 3 lessons in my life. First of all, I always say his name somewhere, everywhere, because if it wasn't for him, what? I'm just going to keep
I
talking.
said to Laura, sit back.
Just sit back. Here we go. Because
No, but I'm good with it.
I good. Okay, then be quiet. Because I owe him like everything. So the first thing he taught me was never assume anything. Okay, right? So I thought that's smart. Don't assume it's done. Go, just take a look. And the second thing he taught me was, wait, I've got this. And the second thing he taught me was, oh, but this is where it applies. If you don't stay current, you die. Okay, like that's the deal. And so that's what jazz has to do. It has to stay current. I'm not saying it has to turn into hip hop and it has to turn into pop and it has to turn into different things. I'm just saying it has to stay with it. So you have to keep it vibrant so that kids are interested in looking at it. I don't know.
What do you miss about the old jazz, though? Because I grew up, I remember I was at Soul last year. Yes. I still do this combo. I teach advanced jazz all the way through mini jazz at my dance studio. I love jazz. I grew up as a jazz baby. And this combo,
Come on.
and then one in front of the other, one going backwards, one going forwards, like my senior jazz dancers do that every single class. And we add grapevines to it, walking forward, walking backwards, directional changes. When we were at Soul last year, Drew started doing that across the floor. And the looks on so many of the dancers' faces were like, what is that? And then that was like my proud teacher moment when my girls were walking across the dance floor, understanding what they were doing. And then they came off, they went like this to me because I was watching. I'm like, every class, now you know. Now you know. Don't be like, oh, the arm combo. Like, no, that's jazz. To me, that's jazz. That's what I grew up on, that jazz.
Okay, I'm going to express an opinion.
Okay.
I feel like all of it is jazz. So this is what I think. I think jazz broke ground, let's say 50s, 60s, maybe 40s. And then all these other things have evolved out of the freedom of jazz to take us to lyrical. I say it this way, lyrical. We never knew what that was. And then contemporary, and now we don't know what that is.
Still don't know what that is.
But it all is jazz dance. You think I'm right or wrong on that?
I think you're right.
It's an evolution.
And that's
Doesn't
how
mean you lose, sorry.
No.
You lose jazz that was the founding that created it, but all of it now has evolved from jazz. Couldn't have evolved from ballet, could it?
And when I'm explaining lyrical, that's to a jazz dancer. That's what I say, that lyrical is a fusion of ballet and jazz, and that they recognize it that way.
Yeah, agree.
I still don't know what lyrical was or is, because I know it's still out there. Yes, beautiful. I've seen gorgeous lyrical dancers, but was it supposed to be with lyrics? If I do a beautiful piano with no lyrics, is it lyric? It's not. See, I didn't know that. See, I still don't know what lyric is. But I love it. And I love contemporary. But if we try to describe contemporary, I think I go back to how I describe jazz, which would be freedom, would be the word that came to my mind. Agree?
Yeah, for sure.
What do you hope to see this LA Jazz Company become?
Well, so when I thought about this, I thought, I don't want to do a company. Everybody has a company, and I did that when I was 22. Just
You got to enter them in dance competition?
yeah, let's go. Just like everybody had, I've got a company. And, we're going to work on it being a thing. It's going to be a thing. And if it doesn't become a thing, it doesn't. But we're going to work in that direction. And in the process, part of our mission statement actually is that we're going to do outreach programs. So through education and community service and all those things, we're going to bring music and the style of dance to, we have a couple of children's hospitals, children's cancer hospitals that we're going to visit in November because we're going to just dance around with them. And so that's part of that. And everybody in the company, of course, my goal is to pay them. They're getting paid this much right now. Not this much. And, but that is on them. And they all want to do that. They all want to do that whole thing. And they say, we don't want anything. We don't want anything from you. There's no pay from this. The pay is getting to see the kids. I thought, okay, you may stay. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And by doing it, you will preserve it for other generations to see.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming it's the real jazz.
It is.
We're going to see them tonight. How many are we going to see?
7.
7 dancers tonight.
7 dancers, 2 dances, 7 dancers.
I didn't know
So if somebody
that.
falls down, it's okay. and can't get back up, also fine. Don't worry about them.
You can jump in.
That's what'll happen. I'll jump in.
Tell us about your kids, Jackie.
My kids?
Yeah.
They're not children.
Yeah, but
So I have a
I don't
boy
know
who's
if
28.
people know that
I know that
you're a mom on top of all of this other
I
stuff.
started
And we
really
have a lot
late.
of moms here.
I know. I'm sorry. I started.
That's something my mother would have said. Now she just said that.
One who's 28 and one who is 24. I had to pause. One who's 24. The 28-year-old. Oh my gosh, you want to hear this? Okay. Work with me. So did you see these things that Apple came out with? My kid was on that team. Yeah. I had no idea because no one was allowed to know what it was. I had no idea. None. 0. Until the main guy, Tim Cook, came out and said, and now presenting this thing. And I was like, what the actual heck? And so, yeah, wasn't that crazy? And then my younger son, this is exciting. I sent him to college, 4 years, going to be a math teacher. Oh my God, that's so great. I'm so proud of you. Then I went to national finals and I came back 2 weeks later and there was all kinds of food. He's always loved to cook. And I said, wow, Aaron, ha ha ha, you should have gone to culinary school. And he said, that's what I wanted to talk to you about.
Oh my God.
Which cost 1 full year of college. And I said, and it was accredited. I said, we couldn't have just done this like last year and cut off a year.
Was the food good though?
There you go.
Was it good though? Was the food good at least?
Well, oh no, he's a chocolatier.
That's not a bad thing to have in your family.
Oh no, it's good. It is good. It is good. Okay, that's all.
That's it.
It is 5 pounds of good. What
Okay,
else?
so I know that you kind of spoke about your company. Is your goal later on to tour?
Yes.
You do want to tour.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So the dancers that are in it are a very
I'm
They're-
interrupting. Are
Okay.
they LA dancers that
They're-
possibly are working in LA right now?
so there's
Is
the
that-
deal.
Yeah.
I wanted the dancers who worked. I wanted them.
Yeah.
So when you get a job, I don't want you to stop working. When you get a job, don't worry. We've got this guy who can step in because I don't want them to stop working. They live in LA. That's what they do. And that also brings part of the joy to this, is that these are working dancers and they bring that part to it. So the thing is, we're going to flip around and then they just did something. I don't know what they did. And then coming up, they're doing this. And then coming up, they're doing the Industry Dance Awards.
Very cool.
So that'll be great. And then I'm going to take them to 5 or 6 cities of LA Dance Magic and see. And then we're going to visit some hospitals in those cities and just get it rolling a little. It just needs a little momentum.
Yeah.
Look for the LA Jazz Company.
What?
Did I say it wrong?
No, what? What?
I'm telling everybody to look for the LA
Oh.
Jazz Company out there.
Follow and like. I don't know what you're supposed to do.
Follow and like
Are
the
you supposed
LA
to follow
Jazz
and like?
Company.
Do you still like things?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I think I interrupted whatever question you were asking there.
No, mine was-
Sorry about that.
No, mine was touring. I was curious if you wanted to tour with them, but you already have a few dates coming up, which is super exciting.
Yes, and so now we'll see where this goes. I don't know. Good.
So, Jackie,
Yeah.
I asked you this question a while ago. You gave me a really awesome answer. And by a while ago, I think it was like 15 years ago, maybe less. What is dance?
Free gold. I'm going to fire you. So he does this because he knows I'll cry. So he asked me what this is.
No, she gave me, I traveled with something called DanceLife TV. Biggest money loser I ever did in my career, but I had a blast. Motorhome around the country, interviewing people, film editor driving in a motorhome with us. It was a blast. Just cost a fortune. But I asked everybody, because I love this question. I started the conference off with it last year. What is dance? The best answer. Hundreds of people in New York City, in Times Square, were asked the question. She gave me the best answer. And it was the day that, because I didn't know her so well before that, I knew of her, was the day I go, I love that woman already. That day. What is dance?
Oh.
You have to answer the same.
Okay. Okay. But I turn everything into a story. Forgive me. Are we over time already?
Has a question for me.
Oh.
Not about the interview.
What's for dinner?
I just want to say I'll get back to you as soon as this is over. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
So now, okay. I didn't start dancing until really late. I was 18, senior year in high school. And what really happened was we got to pick, because we were seniors, we got to pick between modern dance and basketball. And I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not going to go to modern dance. So I said, I'm taking basketball. And all my friends go, oh, come on, don't do that. Take dance. Come on in here. We don't have to do anything. It's going to be so easy. Oh, God. So I went in, and no leotards or anything. We just had our gym stuff with your name embroidered right here. And so, like, be a tree. And yeah. But I had a girlfriend in there who took class at a professional studio. I found out later that it was truly a professional studio. It was Dupree Dance Academy. Didn't know. She said, you got to come watch my class someday. La, 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 I'll come. Sure, I'll be there. So one day she goes, just come watch my class. And I went. And I opened a folding chair and I put it in the doorway. And Joe Bennett was teaching. And okay, love-hate relationship for sure, like brilliant genius. Okay. Oh, now he's probably watching. Okay, so I opened the thing and I sat down in the chair and he was doing whatever they were doing and I had no idea what was going on. And I just sat there and cried for an hour and a half. And I'm going to do it again right now. Sat there and cried for an hour and a half. I didn't know what they were doing. I was 18. I'm clearly too old. Like you people are all ready to hear, but I had to figure this out. So I started taking dumb lessons and being the worst one in there, because I was. And then it kind of just went on from there. And then I couldn't stop. And then one day I got real smart and I was going to college for a second. And then I got a job. And I said this out loud. I hadn't said this in years. And I answering the phone. Hello, Batten, Barton, Durstein, and Osborne. Yes. And so then one day I went, this is not fun. That's not the word I used. So I said, I can't do this anymore. And I ran into the guy, whoever he was, and I said, I just can't do this. We were on the 19th floor of this building on Wilshire Boulevard in like near Beverly Hills. And I was looking out the window and I thought, I just can't do this. Like, I cannot be in this room. So I said, I can't be here anymore. And I went to American School of Dance, which was owned by Eugene Loring, who choreographed Billy the Kid. This is like a history lesson. Okay, that's because I'm old. And so I went in there and I was like, not good. And I said, I don't have any money. And so he let me take the classes if I would wash the mirrors and, blah, 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 also sweep and also clean the bathroom. But I don't like to talk about that part.
You're doing awesome.
But I did. And so that's kind of how I paid for those lessons till I met Joe Tremaine. And then he said, I'm going to teach you how to dance, kid. And I said, okay, let's go. And then he also let me clean his apartment. So see how things work out. True story.
Well, I think a lot of us are studio owners and teachers in here, to hear that you now are where you are in the dance industry, and to hear that you started dancing at 18. Like, we all need to realize that when we have children who are coming to us at like 14, 15, like, we need to find a spot for them. Right? Everyone can dance.
Good point.
Because what if they said no to you? What if they said, no, you're too old, you can't dance, or we don't have a spot for you?
That would have been, I wouldn't have known what to do at that point.
Right. So that's something that as a studio owner, I think to myself, if I had someone coming to me at 16 who just wanted to dance, now, I don't have a class for them. But I should.
Teach them what they're already capable of doing. Like, instead of teaching them things that they can't do in the beginning, give them stuff that they can do so that they feel like they're already dancing. And then you can start digging in.
And get into like the technique of it all.
Yeah. But you know what? At Roland's, they used to have a scholarship program, and every 6 months, everyone, would audition, and there'd be hundreds of people auditioning. And I auditioned this time, and I auditioned this time, and I auditioned this time. So I auditioned 3 times for Roland for the scholarship program. And he came out the last time, and my dad happened to be there, and he said, she's just got no potential. She's got to do something else. I got my car. I'm like, mother, beep, 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 beep. So just cuss words in a row, no other words, all in a row, pronoun, adjective. It totally made sense. And I said, oh no, I will show you. And so hi, that's how. Okay. And hello, audience. How are you doing today?
You brought up someone, and I would like you to maybe tell us a little bit more about him and your relationship. Talk to me about Joe Tremaine.
Well, like I owe him everything, and I really wish that kids, that's the most important thing, is that for them to know where they came from. Like it's super important for them to not only know you, but to know who your teacher was. And if you know who that teacher was, so they feel part of this lineage. They feel like they belong to something instead of just some kid taking a dance from some teacher. There has to be a history so that they can tie in. Well, Joe was everything. Like if it had not been for him and the psychological damage he did to me, I hope you're listening, then I wouldn't be here at all. Like, he supported me. He didn't give me anything, but he supported me. I can't afford class on Tuesday. Well, you can come clean my apartment once a week. Okay, now I can afford class on Tuesday because it was a trade, And I would sit and I would sign people in and take the $3 for class. And stick it in his bag and sign in the next person. And I was the worst. I was really good at this, but I was the worst dancer, which he will say that out loud to you. And I wish he were here to say that. Not really. But yeah. And then, like he hired me. And
how long did it take? I'm not going to say like we're all on the journey and still learning, but how long did it take till you like were a dancer or felt like a dancer? Or
okay, that's a different question.
Okay. Answer either one that you feel comfortable with, I guess.
I started working as a dancer really soon because I was on full speed ahead. I had to get good fast because everybody was way ahead of me. So I started working as a dancer like when I was 21, 22. And then I started teaching when I was 23 at Dupre Dance Academy. Okay, and I still didn't know anything. And I was assisting this fellow named Rick Milland, who was an ice skater, and this brilliant, just body long. And he didn't come one day. He couldn't get there. And Roland says to me, and he reaches up on the shelf and he takes down a bunch of albums, the albums. And he hands to me, he goes, Rick's not here today. You have to teach his class. So I went into the room, and it's a class I normally assist, and I'm not good. So I went up and I put the thing on and I did Rick's warm up. And then I did a combo I thought was a combo. I don't know. It was awful. And then it was a jazz 1. It was a jazz 1. I'm lying to you. It was a jazz 3. And then a week later, Roland comes up to me and he goes, that was pretty good. I'm going to give you your own class. I'm going to give you a jazz 1. Oh, wow. I've arrived. So I went and taught this jazz 1 for a couple of weeks. Roland calls me into the office and he goes, you're not ready for the jazz 1. I'm going to give you the pre-jazz class.
You got degraded right
I
away.
did, like immediately. I said, okay. Is it still on Tuesdays? I'm okay. So, but I'm so grateful, right? Because is this a problem? This is totally a problem in studios now. You've got kids and they want to teach and you want them to teach, but they want the advanced class. That's garbage. The only place to learn to teach is in the little class, the bottom of the food chain. That's where you learn to teach. Oh,
Yes.
Look at her. Am I
Yes. You are hitting a nerve with me. I say that all the time.
You're not going to learn to teach in the advanced class.
Exactly. I say, if you want to work with my senior kids and you want to be able to say kickball change and double pirouette, jeté out, roll out, and snap.
And if
well, then you better be able to show them how to do a kickball change. Kick, step, step. Add the arm, ball change. Point your foot, ball change. Like, to me, if you can't, and I've always felt that way because I was brought up that way. I was brought up in a studio where I started assisting in a class. I was put in the 3-year-old class. Ooh. And then the following year, now you're with the 3 and 4-year-olds. Now you're with the 3 and 5-year-olds. And now you're in beginner tap. And I went from 13 to 18. And then when I got out of that studio and they then approached me and said, our tap teacher is leaving. Would you like to start with tap 1 and tap 2? I felt so prepared to teach that class because I had all of those years of learning how to reach 5 different kids in that classroom. And it's not like that now.
Plus, weren't you
It's
just
not.
grateful? Like,
Oh,
they
the-
believe that I could teach any
Yes.
class? Like, I'll take any class.
Yes.
Exercise
Yes.
for anybody. Like, I'll do
Mhm.
anything. That's what
And
I
it was
felt
such
like.
an honor to go back to your own studio and be like,
Yeah.
hey, you graduated.
Yeah.
Now come back. We want you to come on to the other side. That
Yeah.
was probably one of like the biggest accomplishments in my teens. So like, wow, you want me to now be a part of your team. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for those of you who think to yourself, they're not that good, I'm going to give them to someone else. Know that once you weren't that good.
Yeah.
Ooh, ouch.
I say that a lot to teachers, but I do it differently. We're on the air, but I'm going to do it. I go, you sucked once too.
Oh,
Come on, let's
And you get the point, right?
you were really good at breakdancing though, Rhee.
Oh, yes.
We learned that this
Oh,
morning.
These people aren't going to know what we're talking about. But I did do a breakdance master class this morning.
which I happened to get a glance at.
Oh, you did?
No, it was so good. And then I rolled my eyes and I thought, this is not happening. I'm getting psychological damage. I left.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was all nobody who was in the room enjoyed it. Hey, this has been fun. I know I'm putting pressure on you. You never answered my question. Let's close with the answer to my question. What is dance?
Okay, you want to know? I'm going to say this to you, and it's something you didn't realize, and now I'm going to straighten this out 10 or 12 or 15 years later. So I said to Rhee, dance is what can make anything possible. And I meant that. And I know that the way you took it was you show something and it gives people, it can make anything possible in their eyes. And I said it like I came from a really different background. And dance was what made everything possible. Oh, boom!
Cardi B.
Did you hear about Cardi B?
Wow.
That was good, right?
Yes.
Before.
Wow, I've been playing it for people, and now I got a even better story to tell.
I know, weird, right? Look at you.
Tonight, I'd like to, when we hang out on stage, we're going to talk about that growing up story. We are all, and I hope you agree with this, we are all what we grew up knowing, doing, being. And it isn't that all of the successful people grew up with people who had it together. It is about growing up with all of those experiences and making a decision on what you're going to do with your life. And that's one of the things I learned from Jackie Sleight. So we'll talk more about that tonight. And any closing words here?
Please no.
Please no. This is Jackie Sleight, our guest on a talk show who doesn't like to talk. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
I
Thank you,
love
darling.
you.
I love you.
Bye, everybody.